Hey guys, welcome back. Now, it's not very often I get to review brass locomotives, especially with the downturn in the brass market, but Broadway Limited imports a very innovative company coming up with all kinds of good things like Rolling Thunder, the subwoofer system, the Thunder and Lightning. They've got all sorts of innovative thinking. They have started doing brass hybrids in the last couple of years, or restarted doing brass hybrids. And this is the Texas and Pacific 210-4 steam locomotive. This is number 610. It's an American Freedom train, and they've got other schemes as well, including the in-service version and other versions of number 610, and I believe other numbers. MSRP on this is $749.99, which I understand sounds very high for a steam locomotive, but you have to realize this is mostly brass on this steam locomotive with extremely high detail, and you got to keep in mind that there's discounts available at hobby shops and online retailers. So with that said, let's take a look at what you get in this brass hybrid steam locomotive starting right now. Alright, unboxing of this. A little different Broadway Limited box than the plastic line. There's the end there. See the item number if you're looking for that. Still a 2-year warranty with Broadway Limited as long as you sign up online at their website. So there's the 2-year warranty information. You've got the exploded view diagram, Texas and Pacific 210-4 locomotive, and on the other side the tender. This is mostly useful if you have parts that break and you can go look at a part number and order it through their parts department. The manual is just like plastic, operator's manual. You got 31 pages of information talking about sounds, automatic activated sounds, configuration variables, etc. And then the locomotive itself, number 610, the Freedom train. Now in the accessories department you have some traction tires, a tool for replacing the drivers, and a couple other parts inside. And you have a funnel so that you don't make a mess when you put smoke fluid in it. Broadway Limited no longer carries smoke fluid with their locomotives in shipment due to some customs issues. So you have to pick up your own smoke, but there is a little bit installed in the locomotive. So we'll unwrap this here. I'm going to do all this on screen because, you know, for a brass hybrid locomotive, you know, you probably have not seen the complete unboxing, the customer experience, if you will, on this. So I'm going to unbox everything. Usually skip over some stuff, including the plastic, so there you have it. So up close and personal with number 610 here, we're going to look at some details starting from the front. See the headlight? You've got the marker lights that aren't lit. Got this big, I don't know what it is actually, if anybody wants to comment in the section below. I'm not familiar with what this is that sits in the front. Looks like it holds some extra pressure for steam or something. Smoke box door, number 610 up front, coupler cut lever. You've got the pilot, you've got metal couplers right here. You have the safety tread or the walkway startup. Going along the side, you see all the detail on the side of the locomotive, including all the smokestack, all the valve gear, different valves details. A bell, you have an actual pull cord going all the way. Appears to be plastic or cloth, I can't tell. Looks like it might be really rigid plastic. Just really nice detail. The drivers, 10 in all, 5 on each side. All the side rod detail there. Get back towards the firebox. You have the firebox. You've got the window sunshade. You have cab installed figures. Even the padding on the cab window there. Mirror. You've got the deck plate. You have backhead boiler detail with the gauges actually indicating pressure. You have the deck plate, like I said, the curtains for the cab. Those are actually plastic mold, and they're going to be permanently in that position, but very cool detail. Getting a lot of piping down here, and more on this side. This beautiful, beautiful steam locomotive. This is nicely detailed and probably one of the most visually appealing steam locomotives I've seen. Towards the front you can see the builder's plate, more of the side rods, pilot wheels, and the trailing trucks way back here. You can see the wheels on the trailing trucks. You've got white-walled wheels, so that's very cool, and LED headlight back towards the front here. Alright, on the tender you see the connection, the female connection for the male connection that's on the steam locomotive. You've got stairs to go up to the tender, accessing there. American Freedom train along the side in the red, white, and blue with the 3 stars. Nice truck detail back here. Up top you have this chain detail. Water fill hatches, ladder access. Ladder access back here as well. Coupler cut lever, accessory hoses, metal coupler back here. Really, really nice detailed locomotive. Let's go ahead and get this together and look at operation. So I have track power applied, and this is on address 3, which is standard for anything DCC out of a factory. Gotta move it to get the sounds going. So we'll go over some sounds. What you're hearing there is the dynamo. So I'm going to hit 0, which will turn on the headlight. Headlights on, that usually makes the dynamo sound start because the dynamo provides power to the accessories of the locomotive. Here's bell. Whistle. So if you hold it a little longer, it's a playable whistle. If you just quickly press it like I just did, it will be a short whistle. So there's the playable, there's the short. Same F2 function. F3's coupler slack, which requires it to move. As you can see, it has synchronized puffing smoke. F4 is the air pump. F5, when it is stopped, is the blowdown. When it's moving, is increased chuff intensity. F6 is water fill. When it's stopped. When moving, it decreases chuff intensity. F7 handles smoke on and off. F8 is the volume adjust or mute. And then there's functions all the way till 28, including radio sounds and things like that. Sorry, I was moving it. Well, that's the sound you don't hear too often. That's lumber mill sounds. They have industrial background sound, lumber background sound, farm, city, radio sounds, passenger announcements, freight announcements, grade crossing horn. Just all 28 functions are filled up on this locomotive. Broadway Limited does a great job of that. Now let's actually look at slow motor control, and you can see the synchronized puffing smoke as we do that. But I want to see how this operates at very slow speed steps in forward and reverse. Alright, we're zoomed out a little bit so we can see what's going on in both forward and reverse. So we'll start with forward, 1 speed step out of 126. Everything looks very, very smooth. No hesitation at all. It's more difficult for steam locomotives to operate at for 1 speed step than diesels to have no jerks at 1 speed step, but the motor control is excellent. 2. This thing is smoking very, very nicely. 3. 4. And 5. We'll stop it, go in reverse. 1 speed step. Really focusing on the drivers right now, and there is no hesitation at 1 speed step. Very, very smooth, going in forward and reverse. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Also counting the chuffs per revolution of the wheel, which should be 4, and it is actually 4, so that's great as well. No adjusting CVs out of the box needed for that. Paragon 3 is on, which is the subwoofer that you can purchase separately. Accents the decoder to make the deep bass sounds. You've probably heard of it, but we're going to go ahead and move this. Probably hear it in the background right now. The bass even accents the whistle. A little bit, you can feel it in the bell. Reverser. thunder, that wraps up that preview of this feature. We're in complete darkness now because I need to show you one feature that's a little hard to see. You see the tiny little light? There's the headlight, and there's this tiny little light up top. That's right by the smokestack, and that's so the crew can see the smoke to steam ratio. And those are both code 17 lighting. So that light is at the beginning of the smokestack. So I turn the light on. You can see right there the light. And that's prototypically correct, and that's what the crews used to use. The last thing I want to show you guys is that when the locomotive is stopped, the cab illuminates and you can see all the details inside, and also the close coupling. So there's that male and female connecting harness, and then there's just a bracket, metal bracket. But this navigates both my 27 and 30-inch curves without a problem. Just a beautiful locomotive. There you can see the inside detail a little bit with the cab illuminated. Beautiful, beautiful locomotive. Well worth it, in my opinion. Alright, pull test is ready to go. Broadway limited steam and diesel locomotives have a, I don't know if I would call it a, reputation in the industry of pulling dead horses, so we'll see here. Got maxed out at 4.9 and it jumped to 5.1 for just a second. So pretty high for a steam locomotive, pretty good. Pull, which is good. And you know, this would pull the Freedom train, which is only a passenger consist of, you know, as many cars as you can find or create, but not very long typically. So good pull test on the steam locomotive. A lot of Broadway limited locomotives go even higher in the 8, 9 to 10 range, but this one about 4.9 to 5.1 ounces. Got Katy coupler height almost right on the mark there for the rear, and the same, almost perfect on the front. Weight of this guy on the scale is 25.2 ounces, 715 grams, 0.715 kilograms, 1 pound, over a pound and a half, 1 pound 9.3 ounces, and that is locomotive and tender, so a very hefty engine at almost 2 pounds. Well, that does it for my review of this Broadway Limited 210-4 Texas and Pacific locomotive. Again, few schemes to get it in, Texas and Pacific being the obvious main road, but there's also a southern road, 610 and Freedom train, and the actual excursion version available for purchase. And the fact that it's a brass hybrid and runs as well as it does is amazing. I looked this thing over very, very closely because I know people want me to find something wrong because they feel more comfortable with the fact that I'm objective. And I looked this close, and the only thing I could find is that there's a very, very slight pattern on the white background of the tender, that maybe the plastic just slightly got to the white paint and made like a little background pattern and messed up the white print slightly. That's the only thing I could find looking up and down this locomotive for anything, and that's pretty picky, and you have to be up close, I mean very, very close like this, to be able to notice something like that. So that was the only thing I could find. Everything else very, very well executed, very, very well done with Broadway Limited. This locomotive is awesome in my opinion, and it's the best piece of eye candy I've seen in a steam locomotive. I know some people didn't understand my aesthetically pleasing. That just means it's eye candy and it's really cool. And I'm a guy that likes all sorts of of locomotives and rolling stock and roads. I have a general love of trains, and this one is very, very nice. So that's all I've got, guys. Ran it through the paces. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'm going to leave you with a run-by of just the locomotive because I have no Freedom train cars to pull. I'll just leave you with a run-by of the locomotive, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.